Hi, and welcome to the Roofing Minute. We're excited to share with you tips and must-know information about roofing. And hey, before this episode of the podcast, I want you to text us any of your roofing questions. 719-232-8747. This is Zach with CO Roofing, and this is the Roofing Minute.
All right, so do you know how picking a good roofing contractor can feel like a total shot in the dark?
It's a big decision for sure.
Right. I mean, we're talking about protecting your home, which is probably your most important investment. And it can be really overwhelming wading through all the different companies and claims and stuff. So today we're going to take a deep dive into how to find the right roofing contractor for your needs.
And to help us do that, we're going to be looking at some insights from CO Roofing and Solar, which is a local company here in Colorado Springs.
Yeah, so they know their stuff, and they've got a lot of great advice for homeowners on how to make this whole process a bit easier.
So let's start with something that is absolutely critical: insurance.
Okay, yeah, I mean, we all know insurance is important, but what specifically should homeowners be looking for when it comes to their roofer's insurance?
Well, first off, you want to make sure that any contractor you're even considering has both general liability and workers' compensation coverage.
Okay, so what does that actually mean for me as the homeowner?
All right, so general liability, that's the one that protects your property if anything gets damaged during the work, like accidentally.
Okay, so like if they drop something and it breaks a window or something.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
And then workers' comp, that's super important too, because that protects you if a worker gets injured while they're on your property.
Right, because otherwise I could be the one on the hook for their medical bills, right?
Unfortunately, yeah. If they don't have workers' comp, you could be held liable.
That's a good point. So how do I make sure the contractor actually has this coverage? Do I just take their word for it?
No, not at all. You should always ask for proof of insurance. And reputable companies like CO Roofing, they're usually happy to provide that documentation up front.
So if they get all squirrely when I ask about it, that's a red flag.
Big time, yeah. And here's another thing that might seem counterintuitive. When you're looking at bids, the lowest one isn't necessarily the best, especially when you're dealing with an insurance claim.
Really? Why is that?
Well, you've got to remember that you pay your insurance premiums so that you're covered for a full roof replacement if something happens. So, if you have a legitimate claim, you want to make sure that your insurance is going to cover a quality roof, not a cheap fix that's going to cause more problems down the road.
So I shouldn't just be trying to save the insurance company money.
Right. It's not about keeping the difference between a low bid and what the insurance company is willing to pay. They're only going to pay what the bid is, so you're just shortchanging yourself.
I see.
What you really want is a contractor who's going to work with your insurance company to make sure they cover everything that needs to be done.
So they're more of an advocate for me, not just trying to get the job done as cheaply as possible.
Exactly. And that process is sometimes called supplementation.
Supplementation.
Yeah. Basically, if the insurance company's initial estimate doesn't cover everything, a good contractor will help you document the additional damage or requirements so that you can get proper coverage.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's like they're fighting to get me what I deserve.
Precisely. Now, another crucial piece of advice they give is to go local, like really local.
Oh yeah, I've heard that before. Why is that so important?
Well, for one thing, a local contractor is invested in the community. They've built a reputation here, and they're unlikely to be around to honor their warranty if something goes wrong.
That makes sense. You don't want to be chasing down some fly-by-night company from who knows where if your roof starts leaking a year later.
Right. They might be gone. Who knows?
Yeah.
Plus, a local contractor is going to be familiar with all the local codes and regulations. And they probably have good relationships with local suppliers, too, which can be helpful.
So how do I make sure a contractor is actually local? Do I just ask them?
You can start with that, but you also want to do your homework. CO Roofing recommends checking with local roofing associations like the EPCRA here in Colorado Springs and the BBD, of course.
Oh yeah, good old Better Business Bureau.
Right. You can see what other homeowners in your area have to say about them online, like on Google and Facebook reviews. And you can even check with local suppliers and manufacturers to see if they have a history with that contractor.
So I'm basically building a case file to make sure they're legit.
Basically, you want to be thorough.
Okay, so what about those storm chasers you hear about? Are they really as bad as they sound?
They can be, yeah. They're basically out-of-town contractors who swoop in after a big storm trying to capitalize on the situation. A lot of times their salespeople are working on commission, so they might try to pressure you into signing a contract quickly, even if you don't really need a new roof.
Oh, wow.
They might even try to tell you that you have more damage than you actually do.
So how do I avoid getting caught up in that mess?
The simplest thing is to put up a no soliciting sign on your property.
Good idea.
And if you do need a roofer after a storm, CO Roofing recommends talking to your insurance agent first.
Oh, right.
They usually have a list of reputable local contractors that they trust.
Smart. Now, what about the contract itself? What should I be looking for?
This is so important. You need a clear, written contract that outlines everything: the scope of work, the materials, the timeline, the payment schedule, everything. It protects both you and the contractor.
What are some of the key details they should absolutely be in there?
You want specific dates for when they're going to start and finish the work, a breakdown of the payment schedule, and very detailed information about the roofing materials, the manufacturer, the type and grade of shingle, the color, all of that.
Okay, so nothing vague or open to interpretation.
Exactly. The more specific, the better.
All right, so let's do a quick recap for everyone. If you're looking for a roofing contractor, make sure they're fully insured. Don't just go for the lowest bid, especially if insurance is involved. Choose a local contractor who's been around for a while, watch out for those storm chasers, and always get a detailed contract in writing.
Exactly. These are crucial steps to make sure you're protected and that you're getting a quality roof that's going to last.
Now, if you're here in Colorado Springs and you need help finding a good roofer, remember the folks at CO Roofing and Solar. That's CO Roofing and Solar.
They're local, they're licensed and insured, they're certified with top single manufacturers, and they have tons of great reviews online.
So if you're ready to get started on your roofing project, give them a call at 719-232-8747. They'll be happy to answer any questions you have and give you a free estimate. Your home is worth protecting, and these guys can help you do it right.